Welcome to the video on part 2 of finishing the notes for operations with radicals. When we finished last time, we were on example 1 under binomials containing radicals, and we had worked A and B, and now we're ready to work C. So you can see that this fraction has a radical on the bottom, which we're going to need to eliminate, and we do that by multiplying by the clever version of 1, root 2 over root 2, and then this one has a different radical in the denominator. So we're going to multiply that by a clever version of 1. Copycat fraction, root 3 over 3. So we're going to multiply across on this one, and that's going to be root 2 over root 2 times root 2. And this one is going to be 2 times 3, root 3, and that's root 3 over root 3. Root 3 times root 3. So we have root 2 times root 2 is just 2, plus 2 root 3 over, and then root 3 times root 3 is just 3. Now, this is a root 2, this is a root 3. So these terms are not like terms, and they cannot be combined. So we are done. Let's move on to the next one. Since this is a fraction, we're going to split that into root 2 over root 3, and the same for the other one. That's a root 3 over root 5. So to eliminate this radical, we're going to multiply by the copycat fraction root 3 over root 3. So I'm going to copy down the original. And then we're going to multiply this one by the copycat fraction root 5 over root 5. Okay, multiplying across, I'll just put these in parentheses so you can see the pairs that we're going to multiply. And root 2 times root 3, and then root 3 times root 3 in the denominator is 3. Over here on this one, root 3 times root 5. And in the denominator, we have, that's supposed to be a 5. Root 5 times root 5, which is just 5. We're going to simplify these. Root 3 times root 2 is root 6 over 3. 3 times 5 is 15 over 5. Since that's a root 6, that's a root 15. We cannot combine these two terms, and we are done. Alright, so you're probably going to look at this and you're going to see two binomials, and you know to simplify these two binomials you're going to need to FOIL them out. So let's do the monkey. So the first two terms, 5 times 3 is 15. The outer terms, that's a 5 times a 2 root 3, which is 10 root 3. The inner terms, 3 times negative root 3, which is negative 3 root 3. And then the outer terms, negative root 3 times 2 root 3. So this is the first, outer, inner, and last. So let's do some simplification. 15 plus 10 root 3 minus 3 root 3 is 7 root 3. And I'm going to do a little bit of rearrangement here. I'm going to pull the 2 in front, and then that's root 3 times root 3. Okay, so when we simplify this, we get just 3 times 2, which is 6. So 15 plus 7 root 3 minus 2 times 3, which is 15 plus 7 root 3 minus 6, and that would be 9 plus 7 root 3. And that's the answer. So you notice how we FOILed that out and we got 2 terms. So I wonder what's going to happen when we deal with this one. I'm going to do a line here so that you can, so we won't get one problem mixed with the other. So you know when you have a squared here, we're going to put these side by side. And then we're going to FOIL them out. So 4 root 2 times 4 root 2 are the first terms. The outer terms are 4 root 2 times root 3, and the inner terms 4 root 2 times root 3, and the last terms is root 3 times root 3. Looks like a bunch of gobbledygook, but let's think about it and do some simplification. 4 times 4 is 16 times root 2 times root 2 is our first pass at simplifying that. Okay, 4 root 3, root 2 times root 3 is 4 root 6, because we can combine root 2 and root 3. Okay, this is going to be the same thing. And then root 3 times root 3 is just 3. Okay, so root 2 times root 2 is just 2. Times 16 is 32. Plus 4 root 6 plus 4 root 6 is 8 root 6. And plus 3, and then we can combine the 32 and the 3 to make 35 plus 8 root 6, and that's our answer. Okay, one last problem. So we're going to FOIL this out. This is going to be really interesting, because these guys, I want you to notice that you have 4 plus a root and 4 minus that same root. So the only difference between these two factors is one's a plus and one's a minus. So let's do our FOIL. 4 times 4 is 16. The outer terms, minus 4 root 7. The inner terms, plus 4 root 7. And then the last term is root 7 times root 7. So that's 16 minus 4 plus 4 root 7s. Those cancel each other out. And then 7 times 7, or root 7 times root 7 is just 7. So the answer to this one is only one term, and it's 9. And that's a special property because these two factors are conjugates. And we can put A minus B and A plus B. So that concludes our notes. Thank you so much.